Thank you so much for being here. It is Pastor Joe's honor to encourage you and teach you something new. I know all that I know about finances and real estate because of him. So if you know someone that's interested in learning about these things, make sure that you are sending them our way. And don't forget, he has all the social media platforms. He has TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and he has his own website. So make sure that you stay connected throughout the week. Again, thank you so much for being here, and I hope you enjoy this video.
Hey guys, welcome to Joe Knows. I am Pastor Joe Centineo, and I'm happy to be here today. We've been talking about creating wealth and real estate and finances. I want to take a little break from that, and I want to talk to you about spiritual growth, how to grow spiritually. So I lived in San Diego a few years back in the early 90s, and there are lots of mountains in San Diego, and it's really interesting. When you want to drive up a mountain, you don't drive from the bottom and go straight up to the top. What you actually do is they build the roads to where the roads go around the mountain so that it's not as steep a climb and you can make it all the way to the top. But maybe if the distance is a half a mile to the top and you drive in the circle, it might take you might end up driving 3 or 4 miles. But it's the quickest way and the safest way to get there. I want to talk to you about spiritual growth. I think sometimes that we try to imagine that the spiritual life is like climbing straight up a mountain, and that we just go from point A to as close to God as you could be. But that's not really how a person grows spiritually. Okay, it's just like climbing up that mountain. If you go straight up, the chances are you're going to fall off that mountain. So you want to, as you create roads that go around and make it a little bit easier to get to that high point, that's how it works spiritually. So you are where you are in your spiritual life. Hopefully, if you're not a follower in Jesus Christ, you begin the journey up the mountain, getting closer to God by inviting Christ into your life. Once Christ is there, now you want to start to grow. And rather than just going straight up on this unbelievable, never-ending mountaintop experience, what you do is you begin to grow. You have a growth spurt, and you may be able to begin climbing the mountain. But what you want to do is you want to level off. And as you get a little bit higher, closer to God, you want to level off and establish that place of being closest to God as something that's firm and solid, and that becomes actually your new norm. Then there'll be a time in your life, and here's the neat thing, God orchestrates the growth of the person that's following him, and there'll be another time where God calls you and you have another bit of a growth spurt, and after you have that growth spurt, then you begin to level out, to establish that ground, and that becomes now your new norm. You're a little bit closer, and you're on a journey it's almost like stair steps that go up, you establish ground, you go up, you establish ground, and over the course of a person's life, they are on a steady trajectory getting closer to God, learning about God and knowing him and getting closer and closer to him. Here's what happens in churches though. I was a youth pastor. We would do these summer camps. And we would take the kids to summer camp, and the kids that had been to summer camp before would wait all year for summer camp because they knew they were going to have a spiritual high. They were going to have this burst, and they were going to feel like they had a mountaintop experience and get really close to God. And when we got home from camp, of course, everyone shared about what God did in their lives. And over the course of the rest of the year, that mountaintop experience, they went down, 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 down. And by the time it was the beginning of the summer the next year, they needed another mountaintop experience because they went all the way right back to where they were before the first mountaintop experience. See, we don't grow by shooting on a straight trajectory. We go slow but sure. And as we grow in our relationship with God, we establish that new ground. And when it's really strong and God knows we're ready, he'll take us a little bit higher, and we establish that. And that is really the way to grow. I want to give you a verse that I think explains that well. It says, and by the way God helps us grow is usually through trials, through difficult times, through challenges in our life, and we have to learn to trust him more. So that's why James, one of the writers of some of the New Testament books, he writes this: consider it pure joy when you encounter various trials, knowing that the testing of your faith produces endurance. Let endurance have its perfect result, that you become perfect and complete, not lacking in anything. So as you're on your journey following Christ, he will bring trials into your life that cause you to lean on him, that will test your faith, that will produce endurance, and endurance helps you become perfect and complete. The process, a lifelong process of becoming more mature, more complete. And that's how growth works. So the mountaintop experiences are fun, and enjoy them when they come, but establish the ground. Once you settle down, establish that ground and continue to walk with God on a daily basis. God bless you, and I hope that you are walking steadily and surely on your journey.